And hello and welcome to the GH Spotlight, your number one show on JLJ Media. I am JLJ of JLJ Media. And welcome to the show today. We're so glad you could join us. We have a panel. You're like, who are these people? Well, we're going to tell you who they are and why they're here. And I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to make sure the chat room is open because I know you guys want to talk. The chat room is now open. Come on in. The water's fine. So, of course, you know, the man below me or next to me or on the side, how it looks to you guys, Mr. Frank Moran. Hello, Frank.
Hi, everybody.
Lucretia Lyon, because there's only one, couldn't be here today. She sends her hashtag Vanna Love. Hopefully she'll be on soon again with us. She's probably melting or drowning or somewhere in the country. I don't know what's happening over there where she is. It's hot here in LA, so I mean, it's too much for me. But we are here with two guests who they were on a show that we did separately with them. They are the 10th Floor. You guys get that? 10th Floor GH podcast. It's mother and son duo, Matt and Katz. Hello, you guys.
Hey.
Hi.
I love it. You have Metro Court. I have a Metro Court. We love it.
Yes. I've got my self-decorated room in the Metro Court. I'm doing some redecorating here. You know, I'm personal friends with Carly Corinthos, so I just get away with anything.
Oh, geez, you would. So welcome to the show. We do the church announcements. Like I always say, the church announcements. This is JLJ Media. Like, subscribe, and comment, of course. This show, the audio version, just surpassed 40,000 downloads. So I really, really, really appreciate that you don't mind that me, Lucretia, and Frank talk to you in your ear holes. So thank you so much. 40,000. 40,000. I can't believe it.
Congratulations.
It's crazy. We started from scratch. And then on the video side, I don't know how many we got. Let's start number one show on that side too, but it's a lot. But the audio one, 40,000. Thank you for listening to this podcast.
That's great.
So earlier this week, I had an interview with a kid dance singer named Twinkle Time. Turns out she plays the waitress Brooke in Metro Courts. For the last 10 years, you look in the background, there she is. So go check out my mini spotlight I put out, where she talks about her time on General Hospital. Isn't that crazy, Frank? She's like, I've been playing Brooke for like 1,000 years in the show. But she's a kid singer and wears pink hair. And actually, Twinkle Time did show up once. I think, Geneva, you found it on Instagram or Twitter. And she showed up in her pink hair and a carnival scene years ago. So check that out. That's a very interesting story she tells about how she got on there. And also, we have all kinds of other shows, of course. Bold and Beautiful Mini Spotlight was earlier today. Me, Tammy Govea, and Amanda Russ laughed our way through the whole show. And that is out now on all streaming services and on YouTube, of course. And we started off today with the Young and the Restless Mini Spotlight. Again, me, Amanda Russ, and Tammy Govea talked about all things The Young and the Restless. And that's out now, too, on both streaming and audio and video. And Dish and Days, our buddy, my chocolate twin, Tony Moore, is over there talking about Days of Our Lives right now. And they're doing it on their channel, Dish and Days. So make sure you follow them for the rest of your soapy goodness. I think that is everything for now. So welcome to the show, Matt and Kat. So tell people where they can find your podcast.
There's an airplane.
Sky in the air, flying by.
You can find our podcast pretty much anywhere podcasts are found. And if you can't find us where you actually listen to podcasts, let us know so we can put it there. But all you got to do is go on iTunes or Google Play or wherever it is that you look. Ask Alexa to help, all of that. And look for General Hospital, the 10th Floor. That's what we're officially titled when you want to find us on those platforms. And listen in. We just posted a new episode today. Ma and I did ours this morning. I edited that up, threw it on up before we came here today. So if you want to hear our direct thoughts live from the source before we had a chance to edit, change our minds, listen back to it, and then, politicize things here and there, go back for our original thoughts.
And this is live. Whoever you say now, forever hold your peace. I don't edit shit in this.
We don't either. We actually do very little editing. Very little.
Yeah, very little. We're not gonna edit. This is how it is. I can't. If I edit the show, me, Frank, we should have two seconds of the show and that's it.
Only when there's technical difficulties. That's all.
No, nothing else airing. Just saying hi and goodbye. That's all we would say on the show. We had to edit our show.
Yeah.
What happened? All right. Okay. Let's see. People. Okay. I don't watch soccer. I know World Cup happened.
Euro Cup.
or whatever. The point is, people
And
are
the only
texting
reason
like,
I know that is because I work with Europeans.
well, that's not, yeah, I know they're happy. Frank, I have Phil Svitek sending me messages and so tell your English friends I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't watch the show. I don't know if everyone. So I don't know. So keep that to yourselves. I don't watch football from other countries. I don't do that. All right. Oh, I'm sorry I'm wearing a tank top today, kids. It's hot in my house. I'm ready to melt.
Show the guns. Come on. It's yeah.
That's
Oh,
all you get.
hello.
That's all you get today. See, she's got hers. That's right, girl. She got a tattoo. You got a tattoo. Okay. You got her tattoo.
Yeah, I do. I actually got 5.
Oh, okay. Go on, girl. Okay.
Any GH tattoos, Kat?
I'm sorry?
Any GH tattoos?
No, no GH tattoos.
No Corinthos coffee or
Exactly.
I'm a fan, but no.
Yeah, but she said no. All of our family's like no.
I was thinking of getting Damian Spinelli just tattooed right on my chest, like a photorealistic version of his face.
yes, that would be.
How he looks when he found Georgie?
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Don't do it. Okay, so we're gonna have Matt and Kat are going to give us their opinions also, just like we normally do. They have their own podcast, of course. We're gonna talk about it on our show, and we're gonna see what's going on. And again, he said we'll see how it goes. And I'm gonna start off. Britt and Jax. Britt and Jax. Let me say that one more time for the people in the back of who couldn't hear me. Britt and Jax. How do we feel?
I mean, you were wondering. I mean, Jax hasn't had much going on, so we were wondering like, what else could he be doing on the show? So clearly, that's Britt. That's what he could be doing.
He did Britt. That's what he used to do on the show.
Yeah.
He did Britt.
Yeah, Jax needed something to do. And when it comes to Jazz for Jax, that something is usually someone. So what better way to keep Jax in Carly's life than to have him hook up with Jason's ex-fling?
Yeah.
We don't know what she is. It was so new.
Right.
Yes, we
right.
know they were fugitives on the run.
Meaningful.
Yes.
Meaningful to him, yes.
Meaningful, but it wasn't. They weren't boyfriend girlfriend.
No.
They weren't just sexual partners. That wasn't like that either. Really,
There was care.
It was care.
Well, we'll never know what
there
they were
wasn't-
going to be because they got all broken up because of Carly.
Yes, Kat.
It wasn't the usual soap opera thing where they take time to build a relationship, and then they had this quick, because of their journey together and being fugitives and stuff. Usually, though, there's a much longer build to get hit in the hay. Usually,
Hitting the hay. I like that. Yeah, they hit the hay. I mean, they're on the run, but they're in extenuating circumstances. They got, they always call it the vortex. When you get into the vortex, you have to have sex. That's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at least with Jason and Britt, their relationship could only be enough that they're kind of, there's definitely a connection between the two, but not so close that Jason can tell her what the real deal is about why he's marrying Carly. So you need to be able to I guess trying to thread whatever that appropriate amount of time in the relationship where you can kind of have both sides that he can play.
Now I see a comment in the chat room, and I've seen this online. So I'm not singling you out, Daisy Flower 40. No, I'm shady. But everybody, I see this online too. How people are wondering why Britt's so upset. I'm like, hello, she thought something was possible with Jason. Why wouldn't she be upset? I'm like, I don't sleep just anybody. I mean, if I slept with somebody, I'd be hoping someone's going to happen out of it. I don't know why people are surprised she's upset. I'm like, she thought something was going to happen. She was giddy around him. There was something, she was drawn to him. Plus, they were in extenuating circumstances. They were together, drawn together, and not normal situation, which heightens everything. So I'm like, why are people surprised she's upset? Why is that confusing? I'm like, she liked him.
Plus the Huntington's thing. I mean, that's something she plays close to the vest. I mean, other than Liesel, no one else knows about it. So to open herself up like that certainly showed a willingness on her to like, hey, this is something special to me.
I agree. You guys?
yeah. I mean, Brett is not above a one-night stand. She had one with Julian right before he went on the bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then I think she doesn't think of Jax. Jax is a rebound for her, for real. For Jason, though, her mind was in a different spot. She was in a place of trust with him. She really thought maybe they had a future. And it's Jason. Come on now.
That's my girl. But that's the thing. It's like, that's the thing. Julie, you brought a good point. Julian, that was always light. Her and Julian, they played, that was always light. It was just fun. They did it, and that was it. A couple of times, that's fine. This one, they were on the run. He almost died. And then she find out she's dying, basically. So they kind of like, she's in her feelings. She was there. And Carly, Carly is consistent because she makes you want to hate her, and other times you want to feel for her. And when she was like rubbing it in her face, I was like, "Can I talk to you for a second?" I'm like, "Oh, Carly, don't do this. Don't do, please."
Carly's solution to every problem is to just like either physically or emotionally gut punch someone. I don't quite understand the tactic. And then I feel as though if there's really anybody that's associated with this that you could trust with the truth, it would be Britt.
Right.
She has made absolutely no secrets about being the daughter of two criminal masterminds. She would get it.
Hello. I mean, but I also wonder, why are folks actually coming to that conclusion? Like Jocelyn, I think, was one who was kind of like, okay, you guys really? Everybody knows they're close.
Yeah.
And it does play, but is it me? Or do I not see chemistry between Carly and Jason? That kind of chemistry. I only see friendship chemistry. I don't see.
Really? You might be the only person on the planet that sees it for what they want it to actually be.
Right. I see them as best friends, but I don't see them as lovers. I don't feel it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you there too, James. I mean, I feel like it's been driven along so for so many years that it's just they're best friends. They're just best friends, and they're there for each other. But the romantic thing, I mean, just it was never part of the equation.
Oh man, I've just always felt like they wanted to push the mossy balls off that counter and just go at it.
Yeah, that's true.
That big thing of moss, my favorites. Yeah, go ahead.
It is a way for them to have, I mean, for them to give viewers who've always wanted a Jason Carly connection, them to be able to do that kind of storyline, but still have, Sunny come back and then everything get put back to how it is. So you can kind of have it both ways.
Yeah, we know that Jason and Carly are not getting married, right? Sunny's going to come back before that happens.
Well, no, not necessarily. I can see them getting married, but then Jason comes back, and Sunny comes back, and it invalidates the marriage.
I see them at the altar, and Sunny stumbling through the doors, looking for Nina, going, "Hey, Nina, where are you? Jason, Carly, what's going on here?" Like that's what I expect to see.
I'd be curious to see, if that is enough of a trigger to bring all those memories rushing back to Mike.
My two best friends marrying each other. That should do it. I mean,
Yeah.
That should do it. Love of my life, my best friend. That should totally bring something back.
I don't want to see a big kiss between Jason and Carly.
Either.
I do think too much time has went by. They have sold me on that brother-sister relationship. When they were together that one time, that was 30 years ago. I mean,
and different Carly.
And yeah. I mean, it was pre-Michael, right? Right before she became pregnant with Michael.
Yeah.
That's a very, very long time ago. So I've been sold on it. So I find a big old French kiss between the two of them creepy as all get out. And I certainly don't want to see her and her chones with Jason.
Me neither. I'm like, me too neither. I don't want to see either. They're all Matt spot on, haha. In the chat room. They liked your impression. It's completely, it's one of those things where it's like, when Sarah Joy Brown played Carly, I saw it. That's a long time ago. There was chemistry there. It was kind of fun. But since then, like you said, like Frank said, they pushed us so hard at their best friends. I get that chemistry. I get the whole to do anything for each other. Like Bert said, you literally gave your blood to save him. Like I was there. You literally gave yourself. So I get it. But see, and also the other thing is Carly has always kept Jason, like somebody said in chat room, close to herself. All these other chicks, she just tolerated half of them. And that's so fun. And that's why I kind of liked the Sam and Elizabeth scene. It was kind of funny. They don't really like each other either, but it was like they had Jason in common. It's like, so it's kind of, they were mentioning, when Jax was mentioning all the chicks, Courtney, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know about that. I mean, it's kind of like Carly has always felt these chicks were inferior to her. I'm sure she always felt that way. But that was always what was thrown in my direction.
I feel like Jax was the voice of Twitter in that scene.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was for a change.
But then we have like that Novak dude where they've got to feel like they got to go to the Metro Court. They've got to show off the engagement ring. Hey, we're engaged. I mean, I don't know what they're expecting from Novak. If I was Novak, I'm like, well, why don't you kiss each other? All right.
Take out tongues and everything.
Yes. Let me see how real this is.
Yes. But see, I don't know about you guys and Frank. I'm not scared of the Novaks for some reason. I'm like, who are these random actors? I mean, no offense to the actors, they got a gig. But I'm just like, who are you people? I don't know who you are. There's one Novak came this way, another one now is over here. I'm more interested in Yuri at the house with
Yuri and his crush on Monica.
I was like, wow, I did not see that coming.
I'm with it.
Okay,
I am with it.
Monica. Okay, Monica.
Monica deserves love just like anybody else.
Sure.
I don't know what happened to that judge boyfriend she had, but come on, Yuri.
Exactly. And younger's okay sometimes. Okay. We can't find our age sometimes. They go a little younger. So I was like going with that. I'm more interested in that situation than I am with this thing over here. I mean, like the Novaks just don't scare me. I don't even know. I mean, Frank, help me.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, when you already had like Cyrus's organization,
right?
You had that set up as like a credible threat to them, and then they were just wiped off. Then to all of a sudden now build up one of the 5 families is like, oh, yeah, this is something. After Cyrus already killed a bunch of their members already, and it seemed like he was going to try to pin it on Jason and Sonny, but that never happened. So it seems weird for them to try to make the Novaks some big, huge threat at this point.
I'm sorry, everybody loves Yuri. And I didn't mean to talk that yet, but I just was using it as an example. But everybody loves Yuri. There you go. That was a funny scene with him and Valentino. It was all kind of funny. Yeah. I get points with that one.
It's funny on my podcast, our podcast I do with Mom. Hi.
He said
not just mine. Ours.
Hello. He said on my podcast. Oh yeah, Mom.
Remember me?
Shady Sunday. Sorry, go ahead, Matthew.
I've lost my point because now I've been laughing over my accidental arrogance.
You were talking about Yuri. What about him?
I don't know.
Oh, no. He's hot. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So anyway, so it'll be interesting to see what goes on with that because basically that was the whole storyline for them this week. Was kind of like they're getting married. Here's what's going on. This is break Britt's heart over and over again. Now she slept with Jax. Carly's mad that she slept with Jax, of course, and tells Jax what he's. I mean, it's all the usual. I think it's all the usual.
And Britt's gonna be pregnant.
Britt's I know. Oh yeah. Who the daddy? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because that's what Jason needs, another kid.
That's right. But she can't tell Jason because she doesn't want to,
Yes.
So that'll be it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, oh, we've seen that before.
Well, I know the solution. She could just give her baby to Maxie.
Well, let's talk about that for a second because Monica was on the case. Monica's like, this bitch has been here like around your baby a little too much. And I was like, it's okay. She's just so precious. And I mean, Maxie's losing it a little bit. I mean, she's just like, she got a little taste of the baby and she can't get stay away.
She should have been happy with the whole Christmas deal that I thought that, Brooklyn was very generous. And that was Brooklyn's idea. That was just purely out of goodness and consideration for Maxie. She should have been happy with that and not showing up at the house looking all weird all the time.
And I do like how when Brooklyn calls it out, Maxie gets so angry at Brooklyn. I'm like, this was your idea, Maxie. This was your idea.
And Brooklyn says that. She's like, hello, Peter's still, because they don't know Peter's not there. Peter's still out there, which he could be still out there. That's all we know. Could be still out there. And it's just like, come on, Maxie. Hello, girl. I mean, I know it's hard, but come on. Cheese and crackers. Well, I'll tell you, that all kind of spills into this whole thing of Austin coming to town to be a doctor at the hospital because he has business in Port Charles, Frank. You know what that means, Matt and Kat? You know what that means? Because Anna said, I knew his parents. I recognized his father.
I know what's going on.
They haven't said out loud yet.
Nope.
They're going all around.
Dr. Austin
Holt,
Holt?
or Quartermain. 1 and 2, they're leading that direction. And when Maxie saw him, she had a little attitude. I'm like, why you have a little attitude, girl? Like, he delivered your baby. Shit.
Austin, one, you've already told Anna, you know that he's not involved, but he was also unconscious from this whole thing. So I don't know why the agitation that
Right.
Austin down. It's like he can't really offer anything that could compromise
No.
where Lucia or the Lulu Jr. is.
Lulu Jr. Louise. I'm sorry, don't like the name. Sorry, don't like the name. No, sorry, no offense to any Louises out there. I just don't care for the name for the baby.
My poor Grandma Lou.
My mother's middle name was Lucille, so it's close enough. They call her Bonnie Lou. It's close enough, but that's another story. But Louise, I'm a big fan of. But the baby's cute. That's number one. It's cute.
I did have a thought about the whole Monica thing, which is what started this conversation.
And
I think that it's important and valuable that we remember that Monica Quartermain has been on a soap opera for like 150 years, right? So that means she's going to have the pulse of all of this drama. Hey, this person's hanging out at the house a little too much. Clearly, she's actually the baby's mother. I live in Port Charles. I know what's going on. That's a perspective to remember.
Okay.
That's true. Yeah,
sure. She's been through a lot. She's done her own baby stuff.
Right.
So I mean, AJ and all that.
She'll
is
figure
it Rick's
it
baby?
out.
Is it Alan's baby? She went through all that. So I mean, I guess she would.
But I think that they're missing a valuable ally in the Quartermain house, and that is your next ex-wife, Olivia. Olivia. Because, she's been there, she's done that. She's done the whole, like, I faked my baby's this death thing, to keep her safe.
Well, remember, they kind of make jokes about that for the beginning, about her knowing what's going on.
So they just got to bring her in, bring her in that way she can, run a little distraction here and there.
But they gave her a little break right now. There's no Olivia on at the moment. They give her a little break. She got some storyline. They gave her a little break. So, yes. So right now they're focusing on Monica. Give Monica some work right now, Matt. Let Monica have let Leslie Charleston have some work.
This show is about me specifically seeing my personal favorites only. Everybody else be damned.
Oh, that's so Twitter right
there. It was nice to have another Monica and Jason scene. I always enjoy when that happens. And I'm really excited for when Drew comes back to be able to have, because I think even the Drew Monica connection was even in some ways stronger than the Jason and Monica.
I agree. He liked Monica. There was no baggage. There was no baggage, and Monica just accepted him in to the fold. And I think he just liked that, and they got along really great. I did the Jason and Monica thing because they're real. I mean, Monica's like, I know what's going on. I know if you're doing this, you have a good real. Like she's not whiny. She's not naggy. She's not dumb. Like she gets us a reason. And the whole thing with her and Carly. That was kind of funny. They're playing on history, She did roll her eyes when she hugged Jason, but that was that's what Monica would do. She's a Quartermain. You know what I mean? Everything is it's in character. When you say Kat, it's all in character for her. Monica.
Yeah, absolutely, it's in character for her. Yeah, she accepts all of them. Really, I mean, over the years, there's been Quartermains popping out of the woodwork here and there all the time. She does accept all of them. Will she do the same thing when Austin is indeed a Quartermain, is where we all know he's going to be, he's going to be Jimmy Lee's kid.
Right.
Okay? So right. I wonder if she's going to be as welcoming with him because he's actually the product of someone that, the bastard child, really.
Yes, exactly.
So, and really no huge connection to Alan.
Yes.
I mean, but a connection to Alan, but they didn't come from him.
No, it came
from all those other babies did.
Right. He came from granddad. He came from Edward.
Right.
So yeah, so he's a
when he was being, Edward, he used to spread himself around a little bit.
He did. He did. Poor Lila, but he did. And she knew it was gone. But yeah, so he comes from that. Which I think, more Quartermain's fine with me because they killed too many off anyway. So I'm like, just bring them around. Let's keep that house going. That's fine.
I like that house as full as possible. The more Quartermains they have in it for Thanksgiving, the better off I am.
I agree.
I miss them all pressing their ears up against the door, trying to listen in on conversations.
Yes, I love it. I do. I love it. I love all that. I love all that. It's anymore. So, and it looks like Roger Howarth is enjoying himself.
Oh yeah,
a little bit with this role. So. we'll see what happens, I guess.
I mean, he had to have played a part in transitioning away from Franco. I can't really see any other reason to do it other than Roger Howarth was like, hey, can I just do something else? Like,
Yeah.
why?
Now with with Austin, we had the Austin Britt scenes with the chief of staff for the hospital position. Were they necessary? I was wondering, like you said, I thought I was vetted. I mean, I was like, or were they testing them chemist? Were they chem testing them? What do you think was going on?
Maybe. I mean, I guess that might be the only reason I could think, because it was kind of a superfluous scene.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be there, and nothing really came out of it other than just like, hey, there's just two attractive people talking to each other for a few.
Yes. He kind of said that. It's like, well, was it like really need to come? Like it was like, yeah, it was a weird. It's like, are they just trying to see if they have chemistry or something? I mean, I don't know. Maybe something. I don't know. It was a weird couple of scenes because I guess he got the position. Go ahead.
So Matt was saying today that at least now Brett knows what his last name is. He can't be just Austin. That's enough now because he got the job. So he had to say what his last name was to at least her.
Yeah,
yes, for her. And she don't know the past or anything. She don't know anything that's going on in the past. But then we also have the other shenanigan moment that was kind of fun, a little fun. We got Terry running for chief of staff.
I hope she gets it
against Britt. I'm voting for Britt. I want Britt to make it. Oh, I'm on Britt's side. I don't
Team
care.
Randolph all the way.
Team Randolph. But her and Portia. I mean, I started learning more about Portia.
Yeah,
I really enjoy it.
They're really fleshing her out. What do you think, Frank?
I like it. I guess I'd be down for a chief of staff drama, but as we talked about a few weeks ago, that there just hasn't been enough. Terry's hardly got any screen time at all for me to be really super invested. So, I mean, they could give her it, and I would still feel like I'd see really hardly any of Terry at all. I mean, I feel like Britt having it means I'd probably see Britt more often, since she seems to be a more front burner character. So I think you go either way. Give it to Terry, and that's great. But it doesn't feel like to me. It doesn't feel like I'm going to get any more Terry out of it because of that.
She just went contract. You might.
That would be great. I'd be heck
Well, there
yeah.
we go. They're promoting her up then. If they've given her a contract, right? Yeah. She's getting, mid card now up to main event. Maybe upper mid card type of deal. Not quite Hulk Hogan, but maybe more like
I don't know what that means.
Macho Man.
I don't know what the F you're talking about. I don't know what language that is. So we'll move on to the next thing. He went some wrestling analogy. I'm like, I got call our buddy Flobo Franco. Flobo, what does that mean? What's mid card? What's title? I don't know what that means.
But no, I agree with you, Matt. I mean, I feel like if that's the case and she's contract and you want to give that to her, that's great. Then let's get some storylines out of it. I don't want the storylines just to be. I'd like to be about Terry, to have her, if she's contracted out, to give her some storylines that she's generating, as opposed to just like, hey, I'm just chief of staff, kind of hovering in other people's storylines.
Yeah. What I've seen happening over the last couple of weeks is they have been slowly feeding information about some of the minor characters that have been playing parts over the last few storylines. And I feel like we're about to get kind of a major shift in focus as to who's kind of running these storylines going forward. And I hope that Terry Randolph is a big part of that.
That would be great.
I mean, it looks like Molly and TJ are gonna be getting more. At least I hope. I hope this isn't the end and just the beginning of what they were doing.
But I also feel like with Terry, with TJ and Molly, I feel like it could be because they only really seem to bring them in at like big, huge moments of a story, and you don't really see much of them otherwise. Yeah. So I feel like they could be there for this, and it served the point to help Alexis and Sean get where they need to be in the storylines, and then we just see TJ and Molly kind of recede into the background, sipping coffee out of their 5-month domestic partnership cups.
Before I give my shady term, everybody, thank you for coming on here and watching. We have 41 people watching live. Thank you so much. But I only see 9 thumbs up, so please hit that like button if you can. If you like us, sure. I mean, I don't care. Matt's cute. Like him. Whatever. Like what you can do to like the. Yeah, we have 9. There's 41 of you in here. Like us. Really like us.
Matt Moore wore a MetroCorp robe, people, for that alone.
Robe, guys. MetroCorp robe.
And I'm in Los Angeles.
Hey, he's wearing a turban. Come on, folks. Come on.
I was trying to go for my Nick Cannon. I'm sorry.
You're not showing your long locks of hair.
Not today.
Not today. He's like, not today.
Not
Okay,
today. I'm cozying up in my MetroCourt room.
I love it. I do. Okay, so my shady take on this. Frank and I have always talked about this couple because I just don't give two shits about them. It's just crazy. They never show them. We don't get enough of them. Now, I don't care this racial storyline. It's tired. I'm black, I know, but it's tired. To me, it's so contrived. It's like, okay, so you talk about for a second, but then all of a sudden you're going to out her now. You have a whole plan. You go do, like all of a sudden you have this plan, and Martin's helping you, and all this stuff. Everything's happening all of a sudden, and now basically they're out. I guess Sean and Liz are out. We all hug each other. That's gonna be it, right? I mean, we're not gonna see TJ and Molly again for the rest of our lives. I mean, that's it. That's it. I'm like,
we're moving into scandal territory.
I can't get invested. I want to get invested. I would want to. I just, I'm like, and trust me, I love a good social justice storyline. I'd love to have that. Molly, the one through line about her whole life, she is very much that kind of person. But they never, I mean, if I saw TJ on the street, I wouldn't even know who he was. I never see him enough. I'm not invested. I'm invested in Sean and Alexis. I don't know. I'm not feeling the storyline. I'm like, whatever.
Well, you got to give them a chance to have the storyline so you can be invested. Listen,
Okay.
Molly and TJ have been together for a decade. They're the longest running super couple on General Hospital.
Super couple. Nice. They got promoted quick. All right.
They've been together since they were in high school.
Oh my God.
They are the Joe and Ruth Martin, or whatever her name was, of General Hospital.
Oh, goodness gracious.
James left the show.
My statements were so controversial. It kicked James off.
I'll come back, I guess. I was like,
because there are moments where it's for TJ to say like, "Oh, Sean is my father," and I've ever since I found out, I haven't even been able to hug him.
Beautiful
That's
moment.
great, but again, since we've never really seen that built up at all, like to see much of TJ, to see them have him and Sean have any sort of relationship until recently on the show, where he's actually going to talk to him in prison. That moment just felt like, okay, I wanted it to mean more, and it just was like, okay, all right.
so we just got a downvote. So I don't know who downvoted us. It was like my comments or Matt's. I have no idea. But thank you.
I downvoted us, guys.
You downvoted us. Thank you, Frank. That's perfect.
It's a sign of success when somebody hates you for being great.
Oh, I know. I love it.
It's fine.
I have a video out right now about the not so nice comments about me. It's out right now. Actually, people are watching it. No, it's welcome back, James. I'm only gone for a second. Okay. No, I mean, I hope so. I mean, I would love to see them more. I'd love to see. I mean, if Sean is back, is he back? He's not on contract, so is he back? It'd be great.
It seems like it.
It seems like it, but he's not. Okay, here's a little tip, people. The ones who are on contract are in the credits. Those are the ones who are on contracts.
The ones in the back credits. Because the front flip also includes recurring, and for some reason also never includes somebody like Martin Gray. I don't understand.
Right. I don't. What? I mean, hello. What is that?
Yeah, I mean, they'll throw Mac when he's on there for 2 minutes. They'll throw Peter when they say his name. But no, we're not going to tell you that Michael Lee Knight's in this episode.
Exactly. They're laughing at the Super Couple comment. They're laughing at
And
that.
Jeff Kober never was on the flip either.
That's
exactly.
True. Yeah.
Never. I was saying, so it's crazy. It's like, come on, people, what's going on? So I would love to see this become something, but I just don't have any faith. So we'll see what happens.
Well, but also my lack of faith stems from the scenes that we have gotten for them. The great, hey, we're at Kelly's giving you a 5-month anniversary mug. If that's the kind of quality of TJ and Molly scenes that we are going to be getting, that also makes me worried.
Yes. Molly comes from, she's a legacy character. She needs to be out there doing the do. They don't show Christina anymore. They said, bye, gay people. So we don't have them anymore. And then we got
And Christina
Sam.
should be running Charlie's.
Oh, she's running Charlie's? Okay.
She should be.
She should
Well,
be.
yeah, she should be.
Let's just say that she is. We're barely at Charlie's anyway.
Yeah,
Sometimes you just have to make up your own answers to these questions and just go with that, you know?
I can't do that, Matthew. I can't.
Well, I guess I'm just able to take what they're trying to tell me and just accept it when I'm watching the show. You know, you were talking, Frank, you were talking about the lack of buildup between Sean and TJ and their hug and junk. I'm so rude.
okay, like what are we talking about?
And but I'm able to not that you're unable to, but I'm able to see that moment and be like, well, they just weren't using Sean at that time, so I'm gonna have to take what they told me with these once a month visits as fact.
Matthew, Frank, and I are robots. We're robots. That's what.
It is well known on the show. I am dead inside. So
gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Human emotions.
Yeah,
is very foreign to me.
Yeah, understood. Because just for me as a viewer, it was enough for TJ to say, hey, remember how I learned he was my dad when he was already in prison, and I've never been able to really have that without plexiglass? Like, that was enough for me for that hug at the end to like be like, yay.
Okay. And that's
I'm easy.
Even your mom's laughing at you. I mean, she's laughing at you. No,
do you guys remember back at Kelly's when TJ was a kid and a different actor, and Sean was running Kelly's? They spent a lot of time together.
Exactly.
And don't forget, Jordan dumped him off with her.
I know.
With him, just dumped him off, not telling him that it was his real dad, that was his dead dad's best friend from military, blah blah blah, and he loves you, and dumped him off pretty much. So he's been a father to him. He was very much a father to him before he knew he was.
Yes, I agree with that. But see, Kat, you're reminding us of good writing and storyline telling. That's the problem. There are times when the show was really good. You're like, wow. I mean, you just reminded me of all this great stuff that was happening. It was wonderful.
Yeah, and maybe those scenes pay off more when it is the original actors portraying those characters. And even if there is a gap in time, it's you at least have those memories to kind of pull it forward. With the TJ recast, I mean, yes, those scenes exist, but it may be the connection.
I agree with you 100%. Like, for instance, when Brett sees Spencer again, she's not going to have, it's not, for us, it's not going to feel the same as if she had seen Nicholas Bechtel again.
Yeah, Bechtel, yeah.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
It's going to be very different for us as viewers, because that she had a real connection to him when she was married to Nicholas for a little bit, right?
Yes.
So I agree with you, Frank, for that reason. I think it would have been different if it was the old TJ still.
And the old TJ, Taquan Richard, was really good. He was a good TJ. He was really good. But yes, I don't know. For me, my friend Tony Moore does Edition Days. He always said he's famous for saying, "I'm a fan with open arms." That's his whole take on it. And I think that's what's so good about these shows. If me, Frank, and Lucretia were the same person on the show, it'd be boring. We all agreed on everything, and it'd be totally boring. So I think the same with viewership. Everyone should feel how they feel or how they see it. That's kind of the point, I think, for everybody. And I always tell people all the time, who yell at us all the time, like, that's the whole point. We're all different. That's why we do the show. We talk like that, how we see it.
There'd be no conversation if we all thought the same thing.
Right, about the same thing. So yes, so some of us are a little deader inside than others, and some of us are way open, and that's just how that works. Close your robe. I can open it up. One or two. It's fine. I look at Swab over there with the robe and the beer. Now you need like an ascot or something. He's gonna pull one out. I think you're gonna pull one out. Here it is, right here. Yeah, exactly. But you mentioned, Kat, you just mentioned Spencer. So, how are we feeling about the new Spencer? See, he's like, you went down. Kat, what are you thinking?
Well, I cannot decide yet. I have to see him with his dad, with Ava, with Laura. He's got a good ass chewing coming from Grandma. I'm looking forward to that.
I like that. Yes.
So I want, for me, I got to give this kid a chance. And my goodness, he can't be weird, quirky like Nicholas, played him.
Yeah. I agree with that.
He's going to be very different. And I think he's got big shoes to kind of fill, not necessarily by the actor, but just in the character itself, But I'm looking forward to it. But I'm looking forward to seeing him with his with all the.
I guess we lost her for a moment.
She's okay. Well, we'll just come in. Clever. Use the name Victor. Very clever.
Yes.
The actor's cute, little cutie. I mean, I give him points for that. I'm saying I'm actually with her. I'm kind of like waiting it out because he comes across creepy to me because of how he started. He comes because all that fake, the whole Carrie scene for
Right.
and she doesn't know he did that. She's gonna find out what that's gonna be their obstacle. He's gonna find out, of course. I mean, we get it. But he comes across a little creepy to me, but he is him and Trina do have a little bit of chemistry. So I'm kind of like, okay, maybe I see some Nicholas Gia vibes going on there. I mean, maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. Frank and Matt, what are you thinking so far?
I don't know. I mean, I'm glad to have the character Spencer back. You know, in some ways, I'm not really relishing the draw out of this, where it's, you know, I can't let anyone know that knows me from my past know that I'm back in Port Charles, which is a small enough town as it is. It shouldn't be that hard to run into somebody. But because I would rather just get to those scenes rather than just, oh, only Trina really knows. Wait, you're not really Victor. You're Spencer. You lied to me. I feel like I want to get past that beat already and just get to what's going on with Nicholas, what's going on with Ava. Can Spencer still sell off that he's back in town but still has nothing to do with trying to ruin their marriage? Can he make that work? I'd rather see that.
Yes. Great. Matthew?
Give it time, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so I will say when rumblings were happening that Spencer had been recast, my initial thought was, oh, well, they're changing Spencer from being that dork to going, I'm suave and sexy. Clearly, that's where they went with it. I mean, you don't wear sunglasses in the crook of your polo unless you're just the coolest man on campus. So that's where they're going with Spencer. So I understand the recast. Nicholas Bechtel. He's super fun, but I don't think you can go the sexy direction with that guy. You gotta go somewhere else, you know. So in order to make him into a more typical Cassadine, I guess, you kind of have to go with a different actor. So I was not knocked off of my feet in that first scene that he had with Trina, but since then, catching the rays on the shadowy docks, it's been okay.
I am hoping that, I mean, I even think like Ryan Pavey, Nathan, when he first came on, I was kind of underwhelmed by his performance, but he definitely grew in to the role, and I enjoyed him on the show. But then by the time he left, I was like, wow, yeah, I'm definitely sad to see him go. So maybe that's the case with this new Spencer. I feel like, you know, it's a little slow at first. He's kind of, you know, getting his sea legs, and then we'll see it take off.
A lot of actors say that soap operas are their like crash course into TV acting. And so I think that a lot of these actors just don't have a whole lot of experience in front of the camera yet. And over the course of a few weeks, like Oscar, the guy who played Oscar, was terrible when he started. But by the time he died of brain cancer, it was tolerable. So we'll probably see something similar with this new Spencer as he settles into the role. When it comes to, nitpicking acting, though, what I need to do is have a little conversation with William Lipton about having a dramatic moment.
We'll get there in a second. See, Matt, you're here. See, look at us like we're crazy, Frank, but he's getting shadier. We ain't got to William. Okay, Matthew, we know what's going on. Okay, so what I want to say is the one thing that I'm always open to recast. I mean, shows have to recast. We've watched the shows for 100 years. They have to. So I'm always that's the one place I am open to see what they can do. And like you both, all three of you just said, taking their time. Like Ryan Pavey, we actually had him on our show years ago. We were at the AfterBuzz. And very nice, very smart guy, like off camera. And we actually brought it up about how wooden he was when he started. We actually talked about it on the show, how he was called the wooden man, all these things. He was so wooden. Like you said, Matt, he was getting used to the cameras and the fast pace and the dialogue. They're right. And when he left, we missed it. I mean, those scenes were amazing. We missed him. We totally, we missed him. So with this character, I'm just really curious because I know they had to go through a sexier. I want a darker Cassadine. I love a darker Cassadine. We need one. I love he goes that direction. And him and Trina do have promise, but I'm with Kat also. I want to see him with the others. I want to see with the rest of his family and how he really just kind of, and him would say when he went and saw Mike's grave and be like, why? I go, that's his grandfather. Hello. I want to see him with Sonny again one day. But it's like Sonny thinks he's Mike. He's playing off these Victor, all these different names. I mean, it's all this craziness going on. I'm like, I'm ready for some action, but and then to go to the William Lipton situation. because yes, I got in trouble for saying something, I don't know how many months ago about him.
You got in trouble?
Oh yeah, always. I'm like, that's fine. You know, I got
From who?
Fans, of course.
Oh.
No, I always say that he goes in points where he's really good sometimes, like really good.
He nailed it when Franco was getting erased in that chair.
Yes. But then the scenes with little Jake, it was like overacting at its best. I mean, I just was like, okay, can you just calm it down a little bit? Like, even the kid who plays Jake was kind of like, okay, that's enough. It was just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, it was a little much for me. I think he's a good actor. I think he can do it. But sometimes he over emotes, I think sometimes. Now, I'm just saying this, and do you think I could do it on a soap? Probably not. But I'm just saying, when I'm watching it, it's a little much.
Yeah. There's just this way of how he just tries to eat the scene. Like he's literally chewing the scenery in his scenes, you know? And just back off a little bit. It's just one note. That's all. Just one note back off.
So,
end. You'll be great.
Matthew, do you like that he and Josh put all the pieces together? Josh, wrong show. Josh put all the pieces together from that diary. I totally forgot all about that Devon diary. I'm like, oh, okay.
So what I think GH does very well is plant the seeds of storylines weeks before they actually blossom into something. The same thing happened with this diary. As they planted the seed a while ago and they were just waiting for their moment for these characters to be in the right place in their stories to finally pop off and come together. And that's what happened. Did it take a little long? Yeah. Did they lose a lot of their buzz? Absolutely. But now that we're there and we got this pool set that's coming and everyone's going to have open shirts and bikinis, maybe we can all get on board again.
Yes, the pool set, everybody. If you haven't watched the news, change the pool set. That was like major news.
Okay, honestly, that is big freaking news to me because pool sets, water sets are expensive. And also on top of that, they've been using CGI recently as well. And all of that means to me that they gave General Hospital a bigger budget. And that is good for the soap.
Well, they fired a few people. That's why I got a bigger budget. But yeah, so yes, a pool set's coming, kids.
It's like when Beverly Hills 90210 spent their summers at the beach.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was great.
Exactly.
Do you remember Young and the Restless used to have a pool, and that was Brad and Tracy and everybody?
Yes.
And 100 years ago.
He was Brad the pool. He was the pool guy.
Yeah.
Pool man.
And they had I don't watch GH anymore, but I did decades ago.
You met Weinar.
You watch GH religiously now.
Weinar, I'm sorry. Yes, sometimes rolls off the tongue, you know?
He's all, you watch it all the time, right?
All
you
the
watch
time.
GH all the time.
Yeah.
No, we actually do watch it all the time.
I sometimes, like, episodes like Wednesday or Friday, I often will watch that twice because I just enjoy it.
Okay. Very good.
True fans.
Well, they kiss.
And I'm retired. I have time for that.
You have time for that, girl. That's right. You got time for that. You can do that.
I do.
We're all still working. It's crazy. But Josh and Cameron kissed.
Yes.
But I agree with you on that, Matt. Is this like while GH does a great job about planting seeds, they also do a great job of waiting way too long to bring something to a climax there. And so like now that the Josh and Cam thing happened, I'm like, oh, okay, all right, let's keep moving.
And you also know there's a shoe print out there.
Yeah.
How long is it going to take for us to figure that shit out? I mean, it's like
not that long because Dante's a detective again. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the quality of the PCPD when Dante works there increases by like 100.
Shady Sunday.
That's actually something we even say on our podcast, and we try to stay very positive.
Yeah, that's some shady. That's some shit. I love it. We love it on here.
Well, yeah, the PCPD are they bumble through everything.
They do.
They do.
Well, of course, because they always have to be, they can only throw, wrenches into storylines. They can never actually solve anything. They're just there to make everybody else sweat, but never really get called ultimately on any of the stuff that they've done.
No.
The best cop work that Detective Chase did was give Alexis a ticket for driving drunk.
Yeah, that's right.
Nina and Taggart.
Really?
Where'd that come from? Where'd that come from?
Satisfying contractual dates for Taggart to be on episodes.
See, now that's shady. Too. I love it. Probably truthful.
I don't know. I've got this love-hate pull push with Rael Andrews. I enjoy him, but I don't. I want to see more of him, but I don't. It's very weird. It's very weird.
Well, he's my friend in real life, so I love him to death.
He seems like an awesome dude to know, but when it comes to the character of Taggart, I want to see him, but I don't. I want him around, but I don't. I don't know. I guess I could take it or leave it. What I do? I would use less Jax and more Taggart, I think.
I think more folks would like less Jax and more anybody else, I'm sure.
and whoever, I mean, I know that Rael at least has some real life medical issues that kind of dialed back his on-screen time. But I'm kind of bummed that just like Taggart's return just has been kind of mediocre.
Yeah, I agree. I know, it's just kind of, and even when they recast with the other guys, it was still like, okay. So, oh well.
Well, I was excited. I thought when Taggart came back that I thought they were going to give him a good story, and they started to, but now he's kind of flat.
It's true.
Yeah, when he was kind of sidelined during the whole Cyrus takedown. Like you're pretty much telling everybody, it's like, this guy's not going to be doing too much on the show, guys. Don't get too excited about him.
Yeah, but all black folks in the show realize it wasn't Taggart who warned Portia away from Curtis. Good old Aunt Stella, Miss Renee Watson, and he confronted her at Charlie's.
Yep.
I was like, woo, all righty, and she didn't back down.
Loved it.
I love it too. She didn't back down, girl. Cat, tell me about it. She didn't back down. She's like, yeah, I told her. Yeah, I said it. She's like, yeah, I said it.
I loved Curtis telling Aunt Stella she needed to butt out, because I think Aunt Stella is a wonderful when she comes to her job and being a patient advocate and being a comfort to families. That part of her character is wonderful, but she is a nosy, old, judgy, hateful lady sometimes, and I can't stand her for it. I wish, when she's sweet, I love her. But when she's not, I don't. I just, oh my gosh. I like to see a cat fight between Gladys and Aunt Stella. Let's go.
Oh, look at her. Go on, girl. Okay. I see. Like, ready. Well, I was like, yeah, Rhoda's KK. She did say, I most certainly did. That was her quote. Yeah, I most certainly did. But see, don't we all have that older person in our lives who gets on your nerves? I mean, doesn't that happen sometimes?
But I would, from Stella's point of view, I mean, I did like the overall thing of that. It's like, hey, if you Jordan's got secrets, and that that kind of ruin things. But if you think Portia doesn't have any secrets,
right,
she's not a three-dimensional woman, then you gotta realize that too. It might seem easy, but that's not going to be the case. And I thought that point in and of itself was a good one.
It was true. She wasn't lying.
And I think we all know the one giant secret that Portia's sitting on that involves Curtis anyway.
Hello. It starts with T and ends with A. Well, that's not dirty. That sounds a little dirty.
I just put that together.
I know. I mean, come on, fellow Taurus. You guys look like me. It's that's the big secret, right? So they're going to lead that direction, of course. Which, if Sean's out, I'm curious about Sean and Jordan. I mean, there's some possible stuff that can, again, as we said earlier, if they use them, if they showcase them and write for them, there's a whole host of stuff and the budding friendship between Jordan and Portia that's happening. I mean, there's a lot in there that I like. I
still think that Portia and Jordan should just say, screw these men and start dating each other.
Woo! I think
the chemistry is there.
They're beautiful. I'm sure. Why not? They're doing it on Days of Our Lives right now. So I'm like, why not?
Yeah. And what are soaps really good at? Stealing from each other. So let's just do it.
Let's do it. I said, let's just do it. Okay. I was like, Gladys is still a cat fight. They love that. Oh, because Gladys and Sasha, what's going on there too? That was a whole Gladys is again. Why are you against Sasha? I'm like, hello. Like, what is your problem, lady?
Man, I just, Gladys cannot.
Gladys. I know you hate Gladys. I know you hate her.
I can't stand Gladys.
I love Gladys. Frank, you and I need to have our own podcast. I've loved Gladys since she showed up in Port Charles the first time. Just this whole, I'm way more important than you think I actually am. No, I am actually shitty. I just love it. She is the biggest headed, least important person in the Corinthos family, and I love it.
I agree with Matt. I actually agree with him.
She feels so entitled to so much.
Hey, Cyrus, now that we're pretty much partners in crime and I'm your left-hand man. Hey, like, come on, Gladys.
Yeah. The fact that you're held at gunpoint by a mobster, shot, but no, that's still not changing any of your ways. She does not like any self-reflection. No, I'm not going to take that moment to really think about me.
But Frank, sometimes I appreciate that, though. Yeah, boy, I saw you got shot, and she's not changing. She's like, I am who I am, and that's how I am.
Yeah, I'm just going to get on TV shows. TV news shows want to talk to me.
Yes.
Talk to her, Frank. Yeah. Talk to her.
Really, honestly, I do think that we have Johnny Wachter to thank for Gladys's extended stay, because Gladys and Brando together, I think, are golden TV.
I think so too. No, I agree with you. Actually, Matt, I agree with you on this. I think he's hot anyway. It's no story, but I think he's underused a little bit. I think he should be used
for
more,
sure.
But him and Glass together, they're almost kind of a comedy team, kind of a little bit. And he's like, and then I feel like real mother and son sometimes. Like, I just, I know you have your mother here, but my mother's.
Well, I appreciate how much Brando knows and understands Gladys.
Yes,
like he instantly knows what she's up to.
Oh yeah.
And like the fact that she lied about him being dead for years and stuff, like didn't even bother him. Like, that's just my mom being my mom.
I know.
Well, that meant he didn't have to spend time with her. That's a bonus right there. He's dead.
They agree with Matt. They're agreeing with you, Matt.
Sure. Great.
Okay, so
thank you.
We have to mention this because I am happy about this, and I hope it does continue. Anna and Val. What he said to her, I know you're bitter and British today because it's July 4th. I thought that was so cute. That was cute. And then they kissed, and they're both salivating about it later. I'm like, why not?
Yeah, I like this just because it's Valentine in a relationship where it isn't built on, it doesn't have lies built into it like his relationship with Nina. So just to see Valentine operating just with no agendas in the relationship is interesting, and I really like to see where this goes.
I too. You guys, Matt?
Well, I love it. I love Valentine and Anna together. I do. And Valentine is, man, when he's just so cute and charming, he's very effective, a seducer he is. And he is not going to apologize for it either. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to, yeah. Yeah, I loved it.
There's something about the boldness.
That they were outside of the terrace and there was shit going on inside too.
Yes, there was stuff in there. They were outside, all having fireworks inside, fireworks outside. Yeah, the whole thing.
Well, there was fireworks all over Port Charles that day. So much kissing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of kissing.
So much kissing.
Like they made it for Lost Time on the Kissing on Wednesday.
That's true, right? That's true.
Oh man, when they gave Milo the first post-COVID love scene, I was kind of disappointed. I mean, that was weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago now.
First of all, I don't know why you decided to mention them on this show.
To get reactions from you. It was all.
Yeah, okay, so we usually try to not mention them very much on this show because they're so boring. I fall asleep while talking.
Well, all Willow did this week, I think, was wheel chase into Charlie. So
that was it.
That's all he did. You're right. Okay, done. Matt covered it. We're good.
She pushed him in and then looked guilty.
That's true. You're right. Okay, thank you. That was it. Okay, good. Don't worry about them anymore. Okay. We went back
to James Patrick Stewart, though. I mean, again, I can never say enough about just how much he brings to that role.
Yeah,
and certainly for a character that came on in such a with so many with so much bad stuff
cartoonish.
Just what he's done with that character has been fantastic.
I agree with Frank. Frank and I would talk about him since he's been on the show because we've been doing the show off and on 6-7 years. How long have we been doing the show? Forever. Yeah. Frank and I were both, babies when we first started. Now we're just old men. We started the show. Exactly right. Exactly. I can't hear you, Frank. Can't hear you. What's going on?
And you're both younger than me, so I'm going to give you the finger. So there.
I like finger cat. Thank you. That's another story. But no, he has done. I mean, he came on where he supposedly killed Nicholas. That was the whole thing. He came on and supposedly pushed Nicholas on, and that was like, how can we like him when he killed a beloved character, so to speak? So since that to now, you're right. They have really navigated him the right way, and redeemed him on many levels to where we can actually root for him. And I think it's obviously it's writing, production, but also Mark Tester, our buddy, Mark Tester casting. He cast the right people, and I think James Patrick Stewart is just why Mark Tester has like 11 or 12 Emmys. It's not a surprise. And James Patrick Stewart is amazing. I agree with Frank completely. Amazing.
I do too. He's quite good.
He's really good.
He makes every scene. He makes every scene that he has with another actor. I think he makes the other actor better.
Agreed.
I totally agree with that. I want to mention Portia and Ava had a little talk about Cheers, nice little talk about how far they've come.
Our girl.
Yeah. It's always the our girl. It's always the our girl. I don't know about that.
How's our girl doing?
I love it. I don't care. I love it. It was good. But then Nicholas had to ruin everything. They come in there. And I love you. You're not going to divorce me. Screw you. Well, I mean, just like this whole thing. And that shoe print is out there. So I keep mentioning it, folks. Shoe print is out there somewhere. But I mean, Ava has made it very clear, Nicholas. I see Ava's point. I completely keep mentioning Kiki and stuff. That to me, it makes more sense. It's completely right on track with her. They went to Avery. That was her Achilles heel, is Avery. I totally get why she's like, she wants to like try what she can. Because she's like, I can't do this. I can't lose another child, basically. Totally understand. I totally get it. But they get it apparently, but I totally get it.
But also, I don't know about, do I need the manufactured drama between Nicholas and Ava? Why are they not actually just working together on this? Just saying, hey, all right, let's just lay low, go our separate ways for a while. We can work on trying to figure out who the stalker is, but we'll just, to the public, we'll seem like we've gone our separate ways.
Matt has something to say about that.
Yeah. Because Ava is genuinely afraid for Avery. Genuinely afraid for her. And it's important development that Ava's had over the last couple of years. Losing Kiki, all of that. She is genuinely afraid and is now finding a way to be selfless in a crisis. It's not about her keeping her marriage and what she wants and the money and all of this stuff that she fought to hold on to during the fake marriage. But now she's like, just take it all, just divorce me. I need to keep Avery safe. And that's why it's so different. I
agree with Matt on that one. I do. I think it's just very interesting about that. Seeing her be the selfless mother. I did mention earlier about Sam and Elizabeth because if you watch listen to this show, we're the biggest Sam fans these days. And I thought it was kind of funny. They had her Elizabeth get together, so all the liaison fans and Jason fans could all cry on each other, I guess.
I feel that was a direct response to Twitter.
I think so. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Kind of saying that, like that was done on purpose. Clearly,
that was the let these two couples go, please scene.
Because literally, okay. So folks who are a little older than some people, I guess, whatever, remember George Michael in his video for Freedom burnt the famous Leather Jacket in Faith. That was representative of this huge hit album with all these songs and that persona. And I felt this was very similar with the Leather Jackets. Now, why the Springsteen tickets? How do you get Springsteen tickets and don't go to the show?
It's the mob life, man. You know, you can't.
I saw Springsteen in concert. He was good. I'm like, what did that? Dominoes. You don't burn dominoes. And actually, they weren't burning, they said. They said dominoes weren't burning.
You need to get some tequila going on there.
What are they made out of? But the bonfire. That was
burn.
What?
Bones don't burn.
Bones don't burn. That's right. But literally that's what reminded me of this. I'm burning the past on purpose. Hi everybody, here it is. I agree with Matt also. I thought that was very symbolic because those two characters would never lean on each other when they hate each other. I mean, when we saw Carly and Elizabeth earlier, they've always been kind of back and forth. Like they're always kind of, so that made sense at the graveside. But Sam and Elizabeth always have hated each other, always.
Seems to be a common denominator in those two relationships.
What is it, Matthew?
It sounds like Elizabeth's hard to get along with.
No, the common denominator is that Sam and Carly are bitches. That's the common denominator.
Oh, okay. It's not Elizabeth's fault. Gotcha.
No.
Gotcha.
No, it's not. I'm like, hey, it's not her fault that Jason loved her too. He loved Robin.
Hey,
He loved all of them.
You
He
know
loved
what?
all of them.
You guys, don't you think Michael should have been a little more sensitive with those two women sitting there? To blurt out that Jason's getting married to Carly of all people when they're sitting right there. The two of them like turned their heads like, huh? Both of them. Didn't they?
Yeah, that's true. I the only thing that would have made this better is if Sam, after she said she declared her independence, and said, "I'm moving out of Port Charles, and you'll never see me again."
Taking the kids.
Yes, she has kids. That's right. I forgot.
Well, yeah, Sam has kids. You don't know that Sam has kids? Yeah, Sam's got children, by the way. She's got a couple of children. They're at home right now with grandma. I never, ever go into public without them. You're never even going to see them in the same room as me, but I have children, okay?
Sure. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, I forgot she had them. Yeah, I think Sam needs a break or bring back Lindsay Hartley. One of the two is Sam. That's my little thing. But because her and Dante, I see zero chemistry. I think they're like brother and sister to me. And they are related. They have siblings. Well, not related blood, but related like siblings.
I saw something
It's
recently
supposed to
that
comfort.
expanded their brothers and sisters that they share to also the cousins that they share as well. And
Yeah.
and it's just, yeah, I'm starting to get on the side of icky.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. It's a little too close. It's a little too incestuous. I know Bold and Beautiful does it all the time, but Dinner Ross doesn't do it like that. And I'm just thinking it's a little too. Yeah, it's a little too much for me. It'd be like Dante and Carly dating or something. Like it's just weird. And Sam has already been with Sonny, and it's been with Jason.
Maybe they'll put Sam and Drew back together when Cameron shows up. Cameron Matheson shows up.
Oh, please no. Please,
Assumptions.
Don't do that to Drew. Oh, no way. Come on.
Okay, sure.
That's don't sink his character right out of the
Out of the gate. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of agree with some of the fans. It's a little too close to me. I think it's a little too close in relation. All these years, right?
It would be interesting just to see like how Dante is, feeling about Lulu. Yes, she's in the coma. Is he like, hey, maybe I need to move on with my life? There's been really no mention about Dante in terms of how he feels about, Lulu, where they're at in life.
They mentioned when Dante was gone, Lulu mentioned him all the time.
Yeah.
Now she gone. There ain't no mention. You don't mention Lulu.
No, Laura is the only time you get a little shout out there.
Yeah.
That's because of the whole Cyrus thing.
Exactly.
Well, Dante left Lulu. Lulu didn't leave Dante. So maybe there's just a little more distance in his heart than Lulu had because he was the one that pushed for the divorce and got the divorce and all of that kind of stuff from her.
Yeah.
Lulu is in whatever she's in. You should be talking about her. That was against her will. She was in an explosion.
Put me in a coma. Put me in a coma, please.
Put me in a coma. The storyline put me in a coma. Frank, you're on a roll tonight, as somebody says.
If I had the option, I would be asked please, if anybody can put me in a coma, please do that. I'd welcome it.
Just bash him over the head with something quick.
Yes.
I just think, yeah. I know a lot of we had a little bit of Sunny and Frank's favorite place over there in Beaver Falls, or what they are.
Nixon Falls, Pennsylvania.
Beaver Falls, the Tano, whatever. I'm actually now, because I don't mind that storyline so much. I really don't. I mean, I've got a lot of flack on the show, but I don't really mind so much. But I am kind of tired of it now. I'm kind of tired. Go to Port Charles and get Nina. Like, I can't go to Port Charles.
They're killing time.
Yeah,
I know.
They're killing time until Jason and Carly are closer together.
Exactly, and I know I get it.
But it's like the Bechtel test for two women in a scene and not have them talk about men. It's, can you have Phyllis and Sonny in a scene and not talk about Nina? It's impossible. It's all the scenes become about. It's just about Nina. And it's just, I can't stand them. I can't stand it at all.
And then you got Liesl and Nina talking, which they can talk about all kind of stuff. No, let's talk about Mike.
Ugh.
It's like, they have a whole relationship they've built. They can talk about all kinds of other things, and they kind of mention Britt, but it's more about her and this new dude. Like, really?
I know, it was just the start of that scene. It's like Liesel, too many things. I don't even know where to start. Like, just pick something, and because it all of a sudden became just about what the scene needed to be, which was like, let's make Nina really uncomfortable about this whole Mike thing.
You guys, Brett just wants to talk about voice because she's got a tingly from Scotty.
I know, we love it. I love it.
Oh man, honestly, I feel like I'm scared for Obrecht and Scotty at the moment. Because I don't know if Obrecht is going to be able to throw herself into the throes of love and passion with Scotty while her daughter is hurting so much. I could just see her going, no, I can't do this, Scotty. Not while Britta is hurting so much.
No, she likes it. She can do both.
I don't know.
I think she can do both. I think she'll be fine.
I hope that she could do both because goodness gracious, what a resurgence this could be for Scotty Baldwin when it comes to prominence on General Hospital.
Please.
He's just so good. You gotta have him there.
I know. I love Kishon. More of him, it makes me happy. So yes. And at that boring graduation party, the one fun part that was kind of fun was Laura and Sky talking. She's all Liesel Obrecht, okay, and then they kind of like they're two old friends. This is for the two old friends, and they just started laughing. I thought that was kind of. I said GH does play with history. They do some fun things, and I love the little winks and nods.
Whoever writes Laura's scenes knows her entire life. That storyline that she had with Cyrus would not have been what it was if it wasn't written by somebody who was intimately familiar with Laura.
Those are some big words, Matthew.
Someone who knows that character real good.
Yeah, real good. I like that. Intimately familiar. Wow, I like that.
Well, maybe it was written by Jonathan Frakes. I don't know.
Jonathan Frakes. He's like, I'm trying to get that Star Trek New Generation reunion started. No, I know I agree with you. So it's good. So but that little scene at that boring graduation party.
So why say it so? They have a limited budget. They've got a limited cast. Use your imagination and fill some of the blanks.
Listen to him. Here's the thing, kids. You can't have excitement every single day. I get it. They put on they do 8 shows a week a lot of times. 9 shows a week. They're filming all this stuff. I know they can't. But sometimes it's like some scenes you're like, do we really need to see that? I understand guarantees. I understand contracts. I understand all that stuff.
The whole night not being at Trina's party didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Right. I don't know why everybody had their own individual party to go and then go to Trina's party for the ultimate party. It was very strange.
Okay, thank you, Matthew.
Yeah,
and
they should have had one party for all of them. They should.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
thank you.
The lack of other teenagers at these parties was also weird. It's like, what's going on? You guys? I guess maybe everybody else is having their parties as well, I suppose, but.
Yes, I some extras.
I thought it was going to be their big launch of the new Savoy set, like completely done with lighting and whatever decor that Curtis is putting it in. But it wasn't. It was exactly the same. And they had about 5 minutes in it. And Trina walked in all bloody. And I was like, oh, okay. I felt like this was a lot of lead up for nothing.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm glad. I thought Matthew hated me. So I'm glad he's actually saying stuff that I like.
I don't hate you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to hear that, but I agree with you on that.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around like the entrance to get into the Savoy. It seems very weird because you walk in and then you walk up these stairs, go over like some piping, I guess, and then walk back down to get into the club. It's why design it like that?
It's an old building, maybe. It's old.
Just old.
There was a support piping. They can't move.
That's we got to stay true to the Port Charles buildings.
That's right.
It's a brownstone, right? Maybe.
Oh, the brownstone.
Remember the brownstone?
Oh, I do.
It won't be long before, Sonny had buried a body that was covered with the cement basement or something that they find in the Savoy anyway. So maybe those pipes will come out.
And can I make a request, General Hospital? This is my request to you. If anybody, I don't know if you guys watch the show or not. Frank Valentini, whoever watched the show.
Frank Valentini always listens to our podcast, so go ahead.
There you go. So you're very lucky. I probably just don't watch our show, but I was going to tell you, Frank, no more baseball stuff. I don't care. I don't care about the team, Aurora. We never see Aurora. We never even see the sets for Aurora. We never see nothing. I'm like, no more baseball outfits with their names on the back. No one plays baseball, whatever, on that show. Come on, please. That's my
It's
request.
a great Sam and Dante banter back and
Oh.
forth. I mean, that's what we're there for.
And the secret slider, Chase's secret slider. All
Okay.
right. It's unbeatable. It's unbeatable. Hey, if you're going to go as far as having the uniforms and the conversation and all that, I would actually take a camera out to the diamond and shoot some baseball scenes.
Yes.
Thank you. I would take that if I had to. If a gun was in my head, I would take that.
Whatever.
You can put baseball in that park that they go to. There's got to be. You got it.
Yeah, you just throw some bases up in Oscar's Meadow and have a good time.
By the chain link fence and the tree and the bench over there.
Yeah, the chain link fence that separates the studio from the houses. I mean, the park from the rest of Port Charles.
I've been there actually, so I know exactly where it is, folks. I know exactly where it is. Yes, it's very, very, very crazy. So, folks. Oh, and then did I miss anything? I'm not like that. Is there anything I missed?
Well, if I could say one thing that I'm excited for,
the show, and we love the show.
Wow.
Okay. Go ahead, Matthew.
Is they said that the nurses' ball is going to happen this year, and they're not going to skip it.
Yes, they did say that. So
that's exciting for me. I love the nurses' ball. I need Jazzy Ava out there singing more songs.
Yeah, well,
Frank,
that's true.
Come on, Frank, do your thing.
The nurses' ball is one of the things I hate most because
I love
conceit.
It's so dumb.
It is that the small town that anybody else would care about this.
The red carpet, Frank. The red carpet.
The red carpet. Smallest big city in America. Okay.
Well, this time
Reno of the East Coast.
We didn't get to have them last year, so.
Nowhere else in America are you going to be downtown with skyscrapers 12 minutes away from dense, deep forest where everybody's having babies.
Exactly.
Very true. Kat, you're going to say something, girl. What are you going to say?
I don't.
You give up.
I don't know. Say something. Say something. Say something brilliant. Come on, I'm ready.
Come on, Kat. I give up.
All right. I have an idea. Matthew and I talked about this earlier. I have an idea. Okay. So Valentine, I want Valentine to stay good. Okay. I want Valentine to stay good.
Okay.
Have his edge, but I want him to stay good. So we cannot. If he loses his baby and the baby has no connection, he has been nothing but a victim. He's going to go to the dark side again. So he needs to be proven that he's actually Peter's dad, and that baby's his grandchild, and then he won't go to the dark side.
She's worried about Valentine's poor fragile heart that is bound and destined to be shattered into 1,000 pieces when the truth of Bailey, Lois, Louise, Lou, Jones Quarter, Maine is
I like JPS
revealed to be who she really
the way he is now. I like JPS the way he is now, and I don't want his character to change. And I cannot see him learning out that baby Lois Bailey is, if that's really not his child. I don't see his character is going to fracture a little bit. He's going to change, and I don't want his character to change. So let him be a grandpa.
That is definitely. I mean, he's definitely being set up as the to have a big fall from the storyline, and it's not that exciting to you're just waiting for that to happen. It's not going to be great.
So
and I want him to. Yeah, I don't want him to go to the dark side and just be a bad Helena offspring.
So we did forget something. I maybe because I lost it because my eyes were glazed over on this part too. Finn and Liz, I forgot. They talked about the body. And Monica said, the cameras are back on. The cameras are back on.
This storyline, I have no sense right now of time on General Hospital. Because this happened weeks and weeks and weeks ago that Peter is supposedly dead. And we're just waiting for the time for them to open up that fridge and he's gone. But I'm thinking, guys, that's a body that for as far as you know, is a dead body. That is going to probably, start decomposing somehow. Who knows how great their refrigerator was working. But there's zero planning. What were they expecting? They're like, there's zero urgency. There's zero urgency. And it's like, it has been weeks. But has it been weeks? I don't know.
It's a secret hospital lab anyway. Just leave him down there.
Yeah, that's true. But we got to have the reveal that they open it up. He's gone? What does that mean? Cut to the nurse's ball and he shows up.
Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if the electricity to the hospital went off and the generator failed and Finn and Elizabeth are like, oh, we have to move him now. He's up there rotting.
It would be great. I also don't know why they when Liz says, "Hey, let's get Jason." No, because what if his luck runs out? And
oh yeah, that was a weird conversation, Frank. I agree with you. It's like I can't. It goes. I don't want to trust Jason. I know you know him. I don't know him that well. I'm like, he's Jason. Like, what do you need to know? I'm like, clearly he loves Elizabeth, and they have a child. He would. I mean, like that dialogue didn't sit with me. I was kind of like, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand when you tell Anna because that's a little whatever. But I was like, yeah. So that body is there. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. There's a storyline. Just I don't know what's going on. I wanted Peter dead from the very beginning. He came on the show. I want confirmation that he's dead. I want to stop saying his name on the show. I don't want credits anymore. The Peter fans. I mean, if they're already Peter fans, I don't know any. But I know I've been from the very beginning very vocal about how much I. That's why I personally will never be on the show because I know I've been very vocal how much I don't care for that character.
But I also like that Sasha and Willow and Chase were going to take Finn's daughter Violet up there to the hospital rooftop to see the fireworks.
Fireworks, yeah.
We've been on the rooftop now. That's a terrible rooftop to watch fireworks from. What are you talking about?
Right.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes they just do stuff to satisfy the story that they're telling. That's the only logic in there is that they're doing stuff to satisfy the story they're telling.
Yeah.
No, there is much more behind the scenes, folks, than you actually realize. People out there, there's a lot of things going on. Trust me. I
really, really want his body to be there when they finally do open the gosh darn thing, and I really want him to be dead. I agree with you. I want him to be dead. I want him to be stone cold dead, never coming back.
But you know he's not going to be.
He's not going to be, though. I agree with all you
Probably
guys.
Not, because nobody really dies on General Hospital. I mean, occasionally someone does, but typically they're not really dead.
No, I feel like his death right now, like I mean, as much as people want Peter August gone, like kind of a fallout with Finn and falling downstairs. Nah, you got to give something bigger to have Anna and Valentine have some sense of like, yeah, we did it. We stopped Peter August. So I feel like him still being alive to give them a chance to finally put a nail in the coffin.
But he bumped his head really, really good.
He's really good.
There was a doctor and a nurse that thought he was dead. I mean, how could he possibly be alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Dr. David Hayward snuck down there with his resurrection.
I would love that. I would love that.
Oh, man.
Vincent Irizarry, I would love to have him on there. My buddy, I would love to have him on there.
What other character in soap history was more perfectly suited for General Hospital and wound up on All My Children? I mean, come on.
I know. So, like, yeah. So, what happens to the first nurse Peter killed? Remember, he killed her and put her in a trash can.
Yeah.
That's the first, the actual Chloe Jennings.
Yes. Yes.
There's other chicks not even Chloe Jennings. They found her. She's like some other name.
And then Replacement Jennings is dead too, which really bummed me out because I really enjoyed Kimberly J. Brown.
Yeah, she's great. She was good.
I thought Chloe had legs.
She did.
Gone places on the show.
Down the shaft. That's how she had legs.
But now they're shattered and broken after falling 15 feet.
Exactly, Matt. Exactly.
But maybe they'll do what they did with Chloe Lanier. Her part was small. They can bring her back and have her do something else if they're impressed enough.
It's true.
That's
what they did with Chloe Lanier.
I know.
They dug her when she played Patricia the Kid, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You never know.
So bring her back. I agree. I think she was only on there for a couple days, right? And then she hit it out of the park.
But it seemed weird because
she did.
In one way, we were setting her up for more, especially when they show the scene of her locking up the Chase's antidote in a safe, like turning around and smiling. Like you were setting it like, all right, she's really involved in this.
I didn't expect her to be dead.
No, yeah. And then I was like, oh, all right, she's gone now. Okay.
Like,
Well, I mean, at least they fixed the whole Finn is Chase's dad thing.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
They fixed that real quick. I'll give it to GH, man. They seem to listen when they care enough to change things.
Yeah. Do you want
that storyline was short AF.
No, that's true.
You
Do you
know?
want to see Jackie and Gregory stick around, Matt and Kat?
I'm sorry, what?
You want to see Jackie and Gregory stick around, or are they for like, they've kind of wrapped up their needs on the show, they can take off?
If they're going to do what they've done so far with them, adios.
Dang. Okay, go on, girl.
You know, but if they're gonna give them story, absolutely. I mean, these are two strong actors. If they want to write for them, I'm certainly on those two would be up for the cast. But they haven't done that so far, not really.
Yeah. If it wasn't for their contribution to Chase in the hospital storyline, I'm dying. Like, I didn't care until he had scenes with Jackie and Gregory Chase. And then I actually cared. I don't know what it is that those two actors brought to the story and the scenes that was lacking some sort of heart and chemistry and care. I don't know what it was, but they brought it. And so I was happy to see it. Unfortunately, though, I don't know what you can do with these two.
Well, I mean, you feel like Lulu had more journalism storylines than Jackie Templeton, who was supposed to be an acclaimed journalist. Like, and she came on and she really did nothing about that at all, except for the interview with Sasha.
Yeah.
There's plenty they can do. Because Jackie has history with half the cast of the older cast. So it depends if they bring back the whole Robert, Olivia, Ned, all that. She could fold right into that stuff easily. And Gregory, same thing. Gregory, if they could move him over to some other people, they could move him around a little bit. I mean, it's all kind of things that can start to really establish them. Because you're right. Because at first it didn't show him that much, but when Chase got sick, I was invested. I was totally invested. I liked them, and yes, he could teach at PCU. Be the teacher of the kids, the college kids.
That's true. That's true. He could become a mentor professor to the kids.
Yes, they could work. They could work all of that in there somewhere.
See, look at you. Look at you. See, all you need is a writer's room and a couple of people. You can write a soap.
I write stuff. As you know, I do write stuff. But that's the I don't realize. Like, thank you. But it's just one of those things. These are two quality actors they could keep around if they use their imagination to actually keep them around. But Jackie especially has ties to a lot of folks in Canvas.
Yeah. I'm gonna need Gregory Harrison though to go by a different name while he's playing characters on General Hospital, because it's just a little too
Gregory.
Yeah, like it's just
Harrison.
You know, it's just awkward that the actor's name is also two characters' names in the family that he's playing it. It's just a little much for me.
Yeah, they're all saying, wrap that up. Oh yeah, Frank, they brought up no one has found the KFC recipe.
Nope, nobody has. Well, we haven't spent any time in Max's apartment lately, so
yes. You remember that, Matt and Kat?
I remember that.
Matt, you remember that?
Did it happen more than 5 years ago?
No, actually.
Oh, I have no idea.
But that was when the Colonel went to Max's apartment and talked to Maxie and Lulu.
Yeah, you remember that?
Because people were after a secret recipe.
Time, actually, I don't think
I started re-entering the world of General Hospital at roughly the same time Steve Burton was coming back to the cast. Before then, I was a casual summertime out of school viewer. I caught a couple episodes here and there, but I didn't start watching consistently until maybe a couple of months before Steve Burton came back to play Jason.
Well, just know, anytime you're in Max's apartment, that the Colonel's secret recipe is there hidden in a little tchotchke on her bookshelf.
Oh my God.
In the living room. It's there.
Maxie. We found the excuse for Kirsten Storms to miss a couple of weeks.
There you go.
The recipe has been found.
Then they can get Lila's pickles recipe, and then they can have like a chicken pickle sandwich.
That's so funny. It's Popeyes. That's I don't really a pickle her relish, whatever she called it. Yeah.
Yep. Sunny sauce. Oh, I got the chat room up too. When is somebody gonna have Sunny sauce and realize Sunny's in Nixon Falls?
Hey,
there's 4 jars in Port Charles. Somebody eat one.
Frank says all the time, the sauce.
I know. I just want somebody to eat that already. Come on, Nina, cook it, warm it up, serve it to somebody.
I need someone to go. Jocelyn needs to be like, this tastes just like Sunny's sauce.
Yeah.
He must be alive.
Exactly. We want to see that happen too. Frank always says that. So I want to try his sauce. It sounds good to me.
Why are they handing the sauce around if they're not going to have it used in some way? There was no point in having the sauce come up at all.
Yes. Okay, we're going to end the show on that because we've been talking for almost 2 hours. Again, people are going to start dying out.
But I want to thank. A great conversation.
They're like, Matt's like, he's gonna come on here ever again. Let's see, it's 55 people are watching. So thank you, 55 people. Thank you to the one person who downvoted us. It's fine. 33 people have liked us so far. Thank you. Thank you. But Matt and Kat, thanks for actually coming on the show. It's so much fun having you guys on here and talking about things, getting more perspectives. Thank you. It was just me and Frank today. So we were very happy you guys came on. So one of you guys tell us where we can find your podcast again for folks who didn't hear it earlier.
You want to do it this time?
No, I suck at it. Go ahead. I just do, okay?
We are General Hospital, the 10th floor. You can find us pretty much everywhere that you're looking for podcasts. There's Apple's, Google. You can ask Alexa. You can go on Spotify. We're pretty much everywhere that I thought of being able to put us. So if we're not where you listen to podcasts, you can reach us at Twitter at 10thFloorGH, 10thFloorGH, 10thFloorGH. Reach out to us. Tell us you can't find us. I'll send you a link. I'll try to add it to the app that you're looking at. But listen, we put a new episode today. So, if you need an hour and 20 minutes of Matt and Kat on top of the 2 hours that you got today, go ahead and go and get it.
We're there for you.
Yeah.
Well, the chat seems to love you guys. So that's good. So they guys are funny.
I'm going to write it in the chat if they don't mind. Is that okay?
No.
Do it.
Do it. Go ahead and do it. So while he's doing that, of course, we are Jason Spotlight. We are on all the streaming services, of course, too, and on YouTube. Frank, tell me where they can find you. Of course, they want to follow you.
Nobody wants to, but you can at least look at it and then make that decision. It's like, yeah, definitely not following this guy. Happy Go Jackie on Twitter and Instagram.
And LACRETIALYON. There's only one, Lucretia Lyon. Go ahead and try to follow her, of course, too, our girl. She also has a podcast called Believe in Something. I forgot what it is already. But check that out. It's probably good. Whatever she does is good. So check that out. I think it's a pop culture podcast of some sort.
You Believe in Soaps?
No, she stopped doing that. Now it's another Believe. It's something else.
Uh-oh. Whoops.
I know. She just stopped. She just recent. So she's doing something else. So, yes, we'll be back next week, folks. Yes, the James Lott Jr. will they be back next week? I don't know. We'll see if they feel like it. If they want to come back. They're asking you guys to come back next week. I don't know. They're not our co-hosts. It's me and Frank. Stop it. I'm trying to usurp us, Frank, being new co-host on here. We're the co-hosts. That's crazy. No,
I'm sorry you like us so much. I'm so sorry.
Yes. Okay. Now that beautiful voice of Matthews is going to be debuting this week on our little soap opera, Fairview Heights. So he plays Brandon Lennox. He's really good, folks. I mean, all joking aside, he's really good. And so he comes on. We don't know what kind of guy he is yet, but he makes a connection in Fairview Heights. That'll be out on Wednesday. So make sure you check all of your, I'll say local listings, not on TV, all of your podcast needs. You can listen to that. Also, I have Manchester Avenue, which is out. A new episode's coming out this week. Frank is part of a show is coming out soon called The Adventures of the Tooth Fairy. He plays a doctor on there. And so we'll be coming out soon. Actually putting that together now. They'll be out soon, so stay tuned for that. And of course, you can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr. Sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms and TikTok. You can follow me. I'm a TikTok star for some weird reason. You can follow me there too. And everyone, please, if you're back east, be careful with the flooding and all the water and the floating rats. If you're on the West Coast, I'm sorry about the heat. Stay hydrated and be careful out there wherever you are. Tornado watches, earthquakes, whatever. Just please be careful out there. And we will see you guys next week.